Okay, how's it going? So I figured I'd just turn on the camera. I came out to write something like music-wise for something besides a YouTube video, but I ended up creating a riff that I thought was really cool and I could actually use it for one of my original songs. So I just switched gears. So here we are. I do a lot of these videos and they're usually just me coming up with something like a pretty simple song, and I kind of like put it down as an original that I'm gonna keep for an album release or something like that. And then, you know, obviously they go up for the YouTube videos. The purpose of these videos mainly is just to kind of like show my process, like, because I have like a whole creative process. It's kind of structured, but at the same time, you know, allows me to like make a whole bunch of different things musically, because I do like a whole lot of music. I'm just writing all of the time, so I just kind of need a little bit of a structure. So usually what I do for like these kind of things is I'll do like an A section, a B section for a song, and then like I just kind of like repeat it 3 times and that's it. And I do like a guitar solo on the 3rd one, so there's like an order to it. I kind of experiment and whatnot. Anyway, so I came up with this one, and here's my little riff. So it's just going to be this neat little chord. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to go do that, end on the C9 there. So it's kind of like an E mixolydian type thing. Except right there, I'm doing like, you know, I've got the minor 3rd, so it's gonna kind of like change modes a little bit. So yeah, that'll work. I haven't even come up with the rest of the song, so I'm going to do that right now while I'm filming. So I think the verse is going to have, well, that might be like an intro. So I'll kind of start out with like a, maybe repeat that twice, and then go into the little octave run there. Don't bump your hat on the mic. That might be 2 times or 1 time, I'm not sure. But then so the verse I might just kind of like chill out for a second. You know what, it might just be really easy and just go. Or maybe a little crap. A little more gain. Okay, that's gotta come off. Use that C9 again. Okay, so I can't go back into that yet. So that's a pretty obvious chord progression, but I feel like I can overdub it with some different things and make it sound a little more unique. So that might work. So, okay, so the intro would be... And then into... Whoops. Yeah, and I'll just go back into that and keep cycling through. I already found a tempo because I was messing around with this riff right before I turned on the camera, and it was 156. Let me see if I'm still kind of playing to that, because sometimes as I like start going, I speed up or slow down depending on what the groove kind of feels like. I have a drum loop going, and I just kind of like have that going for like 8 minutes. I have like a preset or a template, I should say, on Logic Pro X that I like to open up. It's got like 6 guitar tracks, all panned left and right, and then I have a guitar solo track, I have a bass track, and then a drum track for my electronic drums. That way I can just open it up. It's all there, and everything I need is already set. I'm using Bias Amp 2 for the guitar amp sounds. Rather than miking up my cab and everything, I just kind of prefer this because I can get like different sounds for the right and left sides as I go down for the main guitars and the dubs without having to do a bunch of like moving the mic around or changing cabs and all that. And I'm just kind of a minimalist, so I like to do it, and it sounds pretty good, you know. Modern technology with like, you know, the amp sims now and the IRs that you can use and stuff, it sounds pretty authentic. One thing I will say is a lot of people that use amp sims and they complain they're digital and harsh and everything, they're actually usually doing one thing wrong, which is they're overloading the input. So I kind of make sure I have a lot of headroom. I like to hit it around like minus, like minus 12 to minus 6 or something like that as far as like going in, and then like the output of the plugin, I kind of keep it down really low. So each of my tracks, they're hitting like minus 20 or something like that. So I actually take the output gain of the plugin and I crank it down a little bit. And you might wonder why I don't just take the fader of the track and turn it down, but what you're doing is if you're leaving that output gain at 0 and you're clipping within the plugin, and then you turn the fader down, you're just turning a clipping signal down because you're already clipping in the plugin ahead of time. So, you know, it's not really going to do much for you. So that you're already botching up your mix. So that's a little bit of advice. Watch your plugins, because I notice a lot of people clip within their plugins and then don't realize why they have this weird digital harsh sound, and you're clipping somewhere. That's why. Anyway, that aside, I use the electronic drum set because my acoustic drum room in here is actually 2 flights of stairs down. So if someone else comes to track drums, I can mic them up and do that no problem. But for myself, it's like a logistical nightmare because I don't have a second computer. I just have this sitting here, and I would have to take everything down, or I'd have to get a second computer, and it's not really going to work. So electronic drums, I can just sit there. I have pretty good eyesight, so I can just bring my little mouse pad and click it when I need to record and stuff. I can see the screen sitting all the way over there. So that's what I do. So it's acoustic shells, and it's an old drum set I had from when I was a kid, combined with one that I actually literally found on the side of the road. Someone put it out for garbage. So it's like a mixture of the two, just kind of like whatever parts worked. And then I took mesh heads, put it on there. I duct taped Pintec triggers on top of the mesh heads. So it's not fancy, but it triggers pretty accurately. And then I run it into my Yamaha DTX module, which is like the cheapest module you can get that actually tracks well. And then I run it into my interface, which is a Focusrite Clarion. And then that goes into my computer, which I'm running Logic Pro 10 on. Let's get to tracking this. And I got to just try this to see if the tempo's good. Actually speed it up a little now. Let's bump it up to 160. Maybe even a little faster. 165. Perfect, 165 it is. So let me start this. I'm gonna check my tuning real quick. I don't really get like too worried about the tuning as long as it's really, really close. I kind of find if like it's not exactly perfect and I'm multi-tracking, it actually kind of makes it sound a little bigger. I think I got this. Hopefully I don't make any major mess ups. Okay, I got that. So that's the left side guitar. I always double that and do a right side guitar. It gives me a nice big stereo sound. When I take these videos and edit them down, I usually cut out after the first chorus because it's like the same thing 3 times in a row. Although this time I actually, after the second chorus, I just played the chorus again and then played the chorus again for a 3rd time. So I think I'm just going to solo over the chorus. So a little bit different than what I sometimes do for my songs. Just kind of like on the spot decided to do that. So now I'm going to double it. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I got the right side done. I was like so close to screwing up that end, but I got it. I was like, my finger was like about to slip off the string and I was like holding it. Now I have to see if I want to do any overdubs, which I definitely probably do over the chorus part. I just don't know about the verse, so I'm going to just mess around a little bit. I probably want to double the beginning just to make it like thick, and then when the verse part comes in, maybe I'll like just drop out, or I'll just do some. I'll see. But the chorus, that was just E, C, G, A, so I could do thirds. I mean, I could do, like, that A is obviously a C, but I don't want to go to that. So, I just do... I could do that. Let me see. Brain for some reason wants to keep going instead of B to the C first, but that would be incorrect. I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it just doesn't have the sound I want. So I just gotta remember not to do that. But I think that works. Alright, that works. I had like a tiny little mistake in the, well, it would be right where the solo is probably going to come in, but I don't care. So sometimes when I have like little tiny mistakes, I actually leave them in just because it makes it sound a little more authentic. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to do the right side dub. So I'm going to actually do more guitars. Okay, here we go. You know what? I think it's a little much with me like doing lead and stuff, so I'm going to kind of simulate what I did on the other part, so yeah. One important thing for songwriting is knowing when you're going a little overboard with the extra stuff, so okay, here we go. Okay, so there's the right side. Now I'm going to do the guitar solo, so that's usually just improvised too. So let me tune up and let me do that. You know what? I've been doing too many like melodic little things. I'm just going to just go nuts. That might work. Okay, I got the bass. I tuned up so I didn't have to like film extra crap that you don't need to see. So my bass is a little noisy if you notice. I probably have to solder something inside, but I keep not doing it because I'm lazy and I just don't care. Okay, so that's that. Bass is done. All right, it's the next morning. I know I'm wearing the same shirt, but I'm gonna go shower after the gym, so I decided to do that. Anyway, my memory card was full last night, so I came out this morning, dumped everything on my computer. Now I'm gonna get going, so let me shut the mic off and start recording. Alright, cool. So that's the drum part. Yeah, I'm gonna go in. I got someone coming over to pick up some stuff. It's a friend of mine named Dan. So yeah, I'm getting around a whole bunch of like used gear that I don't use anymore. So he's gonna take a bunch of it. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym and then shower, and then he's gonna come over. So I'll do the vocals after that. So it will be later today. I'll probably be wearing different clothes, hopefully, unless I'm really dirty. But yeah, so that's that. So I gotta pee, so I'm gonna go in and do that and then go to the gym. Alright guys, how's it going? So it's actually 2 days later. I think I mentioned when I was playing the drums the other day, my friend Dan was coming over. I had a whole bunch of used gear here that I just haven't touched in forever, so I kind of unloaded it on him because he's like starting out his own little studio thing in his house, and you know, I thought he could use some of it, so worked out pretty well. I felt like I was unloading a bunch of crap on him that I didn't want, and he felt like he was like taking a whole bunch of stuff from me, like barely had to give me anything for it, but it was kind of a good deal and worked out for both of us. So that said, I have the song opened, and and I'm just gonna start messing around and coming up with like vocal lines and stuff. So usually I come up with something like in my head and then I forget to turn the camera on. I can do it like right after, but this time I turned the camera on. So I'm just gonna get right to it because I kind of had an idea. It's really rough and terrible, but I'm gonna just like do stuff through it. And I'm kind of like warming up my voice as I go, so bear with me. This might be ugly. I'll just do stuff though. So this is gonna be like a memory aid when I actually come up with the thing, so you can like just be aware of that because it's gonna sound horrible, but it's like useful for me so I know what I actually want to do with the song like when I start writing the lyrics. All right, so I'm gonna go into the verse part. Repetitive, but ooh, perfect. It might sound cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna go to the middle of the verse and start there since it's pretty repetitive, and then I'm gonna go into a little pre-chorus thing I just came up with. Sounds so stupid, but trust me, this works to like come up with melodies. All right, so yeah, this is all improv, so I'm like just coming up with stuff. I think that was pretty decent, so I'm gonna try and like record it again. So yeah, this is like just terrible stuff, but it's like, it makes me like shape a melody. I just kind of work through the song as I go. Sometimes like something like concrete will just pop right into my head and I'll be like, oh, okay, got it. But sometimes I have to work at it to like structure it and make it happen. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to take that nonsense and I'm going to write some lyrics and then start trying some stuff. So I'm going to speed up the footage so you don't have to sit through it, but let me just get started. I think I have enough to work with. So I'm not going to do anything over that intro part that I did in the song, which kind of like repeats. So I'm just going to let that be instrumental. And then, yeah, so the verse part will just be where it starts going do 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 do, and then pre-chorus, chorus, and then I'll let it repeat the little instrumental section and then do it again. And then the second chorus happens, I basically just have a solo and then another chorus, so that should be pretty easy. Okay, let me get started. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna try and sing this through, although it's probably not gonna happen, so I'll probably end up separating the verse. I'll probably do the verse into the pre-chorus and then do the chorus separately, but there's a chance I can go all the way through. It's not that I can't sing it all the way through, it's that my brain will just forget what the next part is because this is new to me, so sometimes I separate things out and I'm gonna have to read the lyrics. I'm getting a little hot in this jacket. So yeah, I think I am going to separate the verse and the pre-chorus from the chorus when I do this. I think I'll sing the chorus first. It's not the ideal take, but what I do a lot of times is I do, for the chorus parts, I'll do 3 sections, and I've said this on every video I do, but I do one up the middle, and then I pan the other 2 left and right, about 35 and minus 35, and I turn them down like 10 dB. Usually what I'll do is I'll pick apart the best sections of the vocals, because like they're identical things, and they match up pretty well. I'll just kind of like take the best sections from each and make it, you know, sound like one cohesive thing. And then the other ones, they're just like underneath as dubs, and what they do is like they kind of just accentuate the chorus. So being down solo, they don't really interfere with it so much. They just kind of create like a chorusing effect underneath, just like elevates it a little more and like makes it sound a little more pronounced. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to sing other 2 choruses right now, and then I'll come back to the dubs. What's wrong with getting older? So long Yeah, okay, so for these dubs, I just sing the exact same thing I sang, and I just said it, but to repeat myself, I go up the middle with the main one, and then the other two get panned left and right a little bit, and then they get turned down like 10 dB, and that just kind of creates a chorusing effect so that it like elevates the vocals. I usually take like the best parts out of each one of these and kind of like combine it into the main vocal, so it's like, you know, the best it can possibly be. That's just how I like to do it, and then like the little inconsistencies on the side ones really just like elevate it and make it sound awesome. You know, as long as they're like pretty close to in tune, it works really well. If they're perfectly in tune, then they disappear. If they're a little bit off, it sounds really big, and if they're too far out, then it sounds like nails on a chalkboard. So it's kind of like a balancing act. As difficult as that sounds, it's actually pretty easy, because you just like listen to it quick, be like, okay, that section sounds good, and then cut it, move it up, done.
What's wrong with getting older? So long as we get bolder. Down, down for so long. Fighting to get along.
Ooh, I gotta check that last one because I had the burp. Okay, it'll work. I was like, don't do it, and then I got through it. All right, this is gonna sound a little phasey and weird right now because I have them all panned center and they're all at the same volume. I do that until the end when I'm mixing it, and that's when I do the panning and turning down. The reason I do that is because like if this sounds like I said, like nails on a chalkboard, I know I sang one of them pretty off key and I gotta fix it. If it's just like a little phasey and sounds like I put an effect on it or something like that, then I'm good. Here we go.
What's wrong with getting older? So long as we get bolder. Down, down for so long. Fighting to get along.
And if you're thinking, by the way, that like copy and pasting would actually be like much quicker than this or something, it would, but you want to get the effect, and also it just doesn't sound quite as real. Like you can actually tell. So that's why I do this.
What's wrong with getting older? So long as we get bolder. Down, down for so long. Fighting to get along. What's wrong with getting older? So long as we get bolder. Down, down for so long. Fighting to get along. What's wrong with getting older? So long as we get bolder. Down, down for so long. Fighting to get along. What's wrong with getting older? So long as we get bolder. Down, down for so long. Fighting to get along.
They seem okay. So now for the verse pre-chorus part. So there's just two of these, and they're pretty much the same thing, except I just changed that one line in the second verse. So here we go.
One more time and it's getting me nowhere. Take the hit as I drive myself under. I'm so long and I can't sing lower. 90 days in and the odds get stronger. Odds get stronger. I'm sure I can hang on. And I'm sure I'm singing along. And I'm sure I'll never give in, but I got that long. Last time in and I still went nowhere. Take the hit and I drive myself under. I'm so long and I can't sink lower. get stronger.
All right, second half.
Let's get stronger. I'm sure I can hang on. I'm sure I'm singing along. I'm sure I'll never give in, but I got so long. Yeah! Got so long! We're still fighting the subsiding crossroads. Never give in, but I got so long. We're still fighting the subsiding crossroads.
So that's it. The vocals are done. Pretty much the instruments are mixed. I have the drums already set to Superior Drummer 3, and then all the vocals, they're the only things that have to be really done. So they're all running into a bus. On the bus, I have like a channel strip thing. It's from line 6, and it's like a little like, I don't even know what it is. It's just like, it's like a preamp thing, imitation or something. But it sounds cool. It adds a little like harmonic resonance. And then I also have a compressor that just gets rid of a little bit of the spikiness, you know, if I have like any pops or anything. And then I have a tape saturation thing that just kind of like adds a little more harmonics to the vocals just so they stand out above the mix. On each individual vocal track, I put an EQ that's just cutting off extreme highs and lows. I put on a compressor that's set to like a 4:1 ratio, a fast attack, slow release, and I have like a little overdrive setting on there. And I just do that on the main one. I don't put it on the dubs. Run them into Chromaverb, which is just a stock plugin on here, and that is like a stereo reverb that just kind of like spreads them out, and it glues all the main and the dubs together so it sounds like one cohesive thing. So that's how I do everything. So I'm just gonna like put all that stuff on and then just kind of like fine tune the levels so it sits well with the instruments, and that should be it. And then at the end of the video, all I do is take all of the parts and I put them on multiple screens so you can see me playing all the things I did on the recording together. Sometimes, like, you know, if I do too many instruments, I'll skip out a screen or two. Usually I just do like the main vocal. So even though I kind of like make like a one main vocal track out of the best parts of each one, I kind of like just use the footage from me doing the main vocal because it just makes sense, and I don't really have too many spaces for all of the extra screens without it being like ridiculously small and impossible to see. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. Just watch the song being played and that'll happen for you in 2 seconds. For me, it's gonna be a good like 2 hours of editing, but fun. So see you later. Cool, awesome, thanks for watching, and check out my other videos. They're just like, you know, this just kind of like show you how to do stuff, or it's just the songs. So either way, hit subscribe, see more. That's it. Feel free to like the video. I'd appreciate that. Cool. See ya.